Hello and welcome back to our Throwback Thursday with Sarah. I'm excited to be here and I've got some exciting news. My book is finally available for purchase on Amazon at this time, and we will be having it available for purchase at Barnes & Noble and some other bookstore sites. There's a whole list. So as those come out, I will absolutely include those in our show notes and our links and on the webpage. So if you want to go visit our webpage at daisygirlcommunications.com, you can get all of the latest and greatest. And my understanding is my website, Sarah Westbrook Books, is also supposed to go live either today or tomorrow. So we've got a lot of that going on. But the exciting news is that my book, the Kindle version, is #1 in new releases at this time on Amazon in one category, and that the paperback is #1 and #4 in another category. So we are doing really good at those sales, and it's only been available for 4 days. So I just want a huge shout out to my fans and to my book army. Thank you so much for activating, for buying the book, for joining us on this journey. It's been such an honor. Keep in mind that if you would like some fabulous merchandise, right up there, some of those items, these are our thank you gifts. If you purchase the book while it is in pre-sale, and you send me proof of purchase, so you just got to email me or message me a picture of your receipt, then Daisy Girl Communications will ship out one of these gifts right here that you can see on the screen as a thank you gift for purchasing the book while it is in pre-sale. I also have some book signings coming up, especially I'll be returning to my hometown. I am working with Samuel Mattis right now, who is the owner of the Purgatory in the Snowflake, Taylor, Arizona area. So I will be returning to where the book took place, and we'll be doing a book signing there. And then my publicist, Angela, is working out other opportunities for book signings and events where you can come meet me, where we can chat, where I can sign the copy of the book that you have. And I'm just really excited about all of this. So thank you so much for your support. We've received some phenomenal reviews. So I had a friend this morning, actually the other one, Alex, we'll start with the other one. I had a friend this morning who messaged me this. This friend of mine who I absolutely adore. She and I share a lot of irony because we both raise children, teenagers specifically, with severe medical needs, some behavioral health challenges. And then her young son also has some severe medical issues. And so this friend and I connect a lot just because of the challenges that having special needs kiddos or high medical need kiddos can have. And so she sent me this, and she says, as you can see here, that she has not read a book that was not related to schoolwork in about 15 years, and that she's having a hard time putting my book down. And I would say that for authors, that is probably the best compliment ever. If you are getting absorbed in my story and just cannot wait to turn the page, that's awesome. The publishing firm that I hired to help me get this book on the market is Book Launchers, and their motto is no boring books. And so I'm really excited that my book has fit the no boring books genre motto, whatever you want to say, that I have accomplished that. And so thank you so much to this friend. You know who you are. If you're watching, you're going to be like, why did you shadow out my name and my face? It's because I didn't have your permission to say who you were here. So if that changes, we can go back in and switch that. The other thing is I was really excited. I got a Goodreads review. So when you are reviewing my book, Amazon will not let you leave a review until launch day, which is September 6th. But Goodreads will let you. And in fact, we are doing a Goodreads giveaway. As that Goodreads giveaway comes up, I will let you know. But 100 individuals who enter on Goodreads will be able to get a free Kindle version of my book. And so we make sure you're keeping an eye out on that. I will, of course, make that announcement when that goes live. But I absolutely love this comment. And Alex, I don't know if you can make that any bigger. I'm going to squint at the screen. I don't have my glasses on. Here we go. All right, that's a little better. So Jean says, this book is a must read for anyone who has endured a painful childhood in a dysfunctional home. Ms. Westbrook's autobiography is a gripping story of how an emotionally abused child transcended her early life to become a self-realized adult, told with unflinching honesty. Along the way, we get a fascinating look at the inner workings of the Mormon Church and its often destructive power over its members. I enjoyed reading Trauma Bonded and believe it will help people who have endured a similar upbringing. So I just want to say thank you so much to Jean. That just warms my heart. I especially appreciate her comment that it was unflinchingly honest. That was my goal. I can honestly say that writing this book is the most honest thing that I've ever done. And that while my siblings say the book is full of lies, please keep in mind, they haven't read it. They are refusing to read it. And that's really difficult because I put my heart and soul into this project, and I did the best I could to be completely honest. Even when my content editor, Lisa, said, hey, Sarah, you're not coming off as a very likable person at this part of the book. And I'm going to say I wasn't a very likable person at that part of my life. So I feel like that's an accomplishment there. Thank you so much, Amanda, for your congratulations. I really appreciate that. All right. So enough about me. What are we talking about today? Today we are talking about leaning in. What does it actually mean when your therapist says, hey, I want you to lean in to your emotions or to your feelings? What does that mean? And really what that means is to take some time to feel your feelings, to take some time to identify the physiological sensations that go with your emotions or that go with your feelings. So if I'm feeling angry, and I've said this many times, that when Sarah Westbrook feels angry, I feel hot in my chest, I feel tight in my chest, my fists will clench up, I tend to grind my teeth and tense up my jaw as well. And that for me, that's what angry feels like. Whereas my husband talks about anger feeling more like an empty and cold feeling in the pit of his stomach. Neither of us are right or wrong. What that means is that anger feels different to both of us. And so it's very important for us when we're experiencing an emotion, especially an intense emotion, to lean into it. So we're going to lean in order to better understand what's going on for us. And I want to talk about that a little bit. But when my producer and I were talking today about today's topic, I asked him to find, oh goodness, it was While You Were Sleeping, from the movie While You Were Sleeping, about leaning. And so Alex, if you can pull that up on the screen. I love this movie. It absolutely cracks me up. It is so unrealistic that it's just a joy to watch. I like this movie. It's one of the ones I've seen many times, and you cannot go wrong watching Sandra Bullock. I mean, anything with Sandra Bullock in it it's just going to be a great movie, in my opinion. And so one of the things here that, oh goodness, what is his name? The actor's name. Shoot. I know what is. Okay. I'll figure it out later. Text me and let me know who the actor is, because I actually know who the actor is. I am just not pulling that up in my brain right now. So anyway, he says, it looked like you were leaning. And then he says, leaning involves arms and hands. Leaning is whole bodies moving in like this. Thank you, Michael. It is Bill Pullman. I appreciate that. Yes, I wanted to say Pullman, and I knew that Pullman was not right, but it is Bill Pullman. Yes. Thank you. So anyway, Bill is explaining, that leaning involves your whole body. It is an awareness that things are getting closer. It's an experience of increased intensity. And then, of course, you've got the bozo there that's like, hey, Luce, is that guy bothering you? It looks like he is leaning. So anyway, one of my favorite movies, absolutely. So anyway, leaning into your emotions is very much like this. It is an opportunity to conduct a what's it called? A body scan, where you are identifying where in your body you are experiencing the physiological changes associated with an emotional response. The other piece of this is to understand why and to normalize it, to be able to say, you know what, I'm feeling threatened. So it makes sense that I'm angry. And my anger, I'm feeling a lot of tension in my biceps. Do I need to do anything about this right now? And so, really, what we are talking about as therapists when we say we want you to lean in is that we want you to take some extra time in your life to identify what the emotion is feeling like, what your body is trying to tell you, and where it's coming from, without judging yourself. We want you to be able to look at this and say things like, anger for me feels like this. And usually to get through the anger, Sarah needs to take a break and go throw a tantrum at her tantrum tree and throw some shit and break some shit before she can calm down and engage in meaningful conversation again. If you've been watching us on Raising Crazy or Unpacking Mormonism, you know what tree I'm talking about. And stuff. So anyway, I am encouraging you as you take some time to lean in to your emotional responses so that you can understand them better. You are going to feel like the choices you are making, the shifts in how you respond to certain things, all of that is going to feel a lot more doable. It's going to help you manage those emotions in a way that feels more comfortable for you. But also it's data collecting. And when I talk about data collecting, really what I'm talking about is I'm gathering the information about me so that I can begin to respond in the ways I want to when I'm triggered. So thank you so much for joining us today. My call of action is to head on over to Amazon, buy my book. The paperback is $21.99. The reason that is priced so high is because it is about 550 pages. So it's a big, thick book. It's a long story. The Kindle version is $9.99 on Amazon. If you get into your Amazon and you type in Trauma Bonded by Sarah Westbrook, it should be the first one that comes up. And as we get more links activated, like at Barnes and Nobles or Borders Books or other online shops where you can buy books, I will absolutely make those announcements and let you know. If you buy my book before September 6th, so that is during this pre-sale season, if you buy it before September 6th and you send me proof of purchase, I will send you a thank you gift as well as early access to the book. My favorite of the gifts is right here. There you go. That's my cute little Sarah picture of her driver's license. I am loving this little fidget tool sensory phone wallet. It has been amazing. So thank you so much. We have a comment from Amanda that I would love to share with you. Amanda says, this is a great topic for today. In my daily meditation work, I hear guidance about not overly identifying with emotions or situations as they arise in my day-to-day life. The guidance to observe my own reactions so I retain the power. So if I am leaning into my emotions and body, then have I lost the ability to stay unidentified with the emotions? No. I guess it would be, how do you define identifying with the emotion? Like if I'm angry and then I say I'm an angry person, that can absolutely be dangerous. But if I am leaning in and saying, I feel my anger in my chest and my biceps, and I need to go for a walk before I respond, then you maintain the power and control over yourself. It also helps you remove the judgment of your initial responses, meaning, and a lot of people struggle with this. They're like, well, if I respond a certain way and I don't judge it, I'm likely to continue to respond in that way. And that way is very hurtful. And that's not the case. If I'm able to identify why I responded in such a way and I understand the backstory, I have more power in the future to respond differently. And so when you're talking about, in your meditation work, that they don't want you to overly identify with the emotions or situations, I would say that the challenge here is not to overly identify, it's to identify the reality of what you are feeling and then normalize it. So, for example, we got a phone call the other day. My 16-year-old son was driving in the rain. And it's one of those storms in Missouri where it was sunny and beautiful. And the next thing he knew, it was hailing. There was zero visibility. He was trying to move over, to slow down and to pull over so that he wasn't driving in the storm when his car hydroplaned and he got into a fairly significant car accident. Gratefully, he walked away with no injury at all. The car, on the other hand, we're still waiting to hear if it's totaled. Wouldn't surprise me if it is, because a boulder stopped his movement. It kind of tore out the possibly the underside of the car. So we have not yet heard about the car. But when I got the phone call from my son, even though my son was talking on the phone with his father to say that he had been in this accident, I had an instant fear response. And that response was, oh my gosh, is he okay? Even though I had overheard enough of the conversation that he had said he was okay. But then my second fear was, is anybody else in the car with you? Who else is with you? Like, do you have one of the little brothers or sisters, and are they hurt? And I was able to stay calm in that situation so that I was not a mom screaming at the top of my lungs, racing out, making a huge deal over the fact that my son was in a car accident. I was able to think clearly and logically, get to the accident site safely without having a panic attack. The reason is because I was able to lean into my fear and say to myself, you are feeling tension and jittery. That is normal when you are afraid. Your son Hayden told you everything is okay. Take some deep breaths. Oh, look, I'm shaking. I'm tremoring a little bit in my fear. That's completely normal. This is one of those reality checks of how fragile life is. Kiddo is fine, Sarah. Take some deep breaths. The tremors are going to dissipate here in the next couple of minutes. There's no reason for you to be upset with yourself for having this physiological response, despite knowing that your kiddo is safe. This is just your body doing its thing. You're good. I took deep breaths. And then I was able to talk to my foster son, who was in the passenger seat with me, about how you manage things when you hydroplane, or calling the police and making sure you get a police report, and what to do when you're injured. And so because I was able to lean in and normalize the shakes, I was not snippy, snappy, rude, yelling, panicked. I was able to drive safely to my son because I leaned in. I hope that answers your question, Amanda, that we're not identifying who we are because of our emotions, but rather we are identifying the physiology that goes with the emotions so that we can better manage our responses. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So Amanda says, for those of you who are not viewing today, that's helpful and a great example, totally relatable. So thank you so much. I don't see any other questions on here. I really appreciate our audience. And also, once again, thank you to my fans who have already purchased the book. Your merchandise will be shipped out next week. We are waiting for our little mailers for us to mail things out in to come in the mail. They're supposed to be here Monday. So the first round of merchandise will be going out on Monday, and we will be sending merchandise out to people who have provided proof of purchase of purchasing my book during the pre-sales time period. Once a week. So keep your eyes open for that. And if you have a specific, hey, I would like to request one of those very cool little phone wallets, or I want that, wild-haired pen or something, I want a notebook, please let me know and I can tell you how to earn that. Or if it's not on the free gift list, then I can point you in the right direction where you can purchase some merchandise. So thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next week on Thursday, same time. Bye-bye.